In this video, I'll be covering some of the interesting features and things that I learned after purchasing a 2023 Winnebago Solis 59PX. I watched several YouTube videos, mostly from dealerships, before purchasing this unit. However, several items were mentioned but not fully explained. Plus, I'm going to share the first changes and upgrades I made after purchasing. First off, there's a shorter 59P model. Both the 59P and 59PX are on the RAM ProMaster 159-inch wheelbase. However, the 59P is on the RAM ProMaster 2500 chassis, whereas the PX is on the RAM ProMaster 3500 chassis. So ultimately, I went with the more space, as well as the larger screen and some of the additional features that the 59PX on the RAM ProMaster 3500 offers. One of the first changes I made to this Winnebago Solis was to buy a 2000 degree black spray paint and touch up this exhaust. From the factory, it's a raw metal, and I didn't want to look at it every time I got into the driver's seat, so touched it up with a little black and I think it came out really nice. Moving over to the door handle, one of the first things I did was change out this handle. The one that comes with the RAM ProMaster is about half the size. It's 1 or 2 fingers and very hard to reach, especially when the door is all the way back. This one is just a 1 bolt, took 20 seconds to install. It also has a little key loop. In addition to the larger interior handle, I also added this little stop on the rail. Doesn't look like it would do much. However, the door, when fully open, goes a little bit too far. When you're in the inside, that interior handle is difficult to reach. This stopper adds just enough traction to catch that wheel and hold the door open. A much more desirable location and easier to reach while on the inside. I also installed SumoSprings. They're much larger bump stops that sit between the frame and leaf spring to compensate for the extra weight Winnebago adds. In the rear, we added a 60-inch by 18-inch table, just a plastic fold-up table, and then bought a 3-inch memory foam mattress topper for a twin, which we then cut into half, and now we have a 6-inch foam pad, which is the exact height of the mattress. This then gave us that additional sleeping space, converted the bed into a king. This Solis is equipped with wireless Apple CarPlay. You can see my phone is not connected at all, yet I still have Apple CarPlay on the center screen. They also have a wireless charger built in. It's quite snug. I'm going to pop it down, and then the light will turn blue when your phone is charging. The 59PX is the only Winnebago model that offers this large screen as well as 360 cameras. There's cameras on the front, rear, and each of the side mirrors. And this allows for 360 view while backing up and also while moving forward up to a certain speed. It does not automatically come on in moving forward, it does automatically come on in moving in reverse. And the mirror has just 2 settings, and if you click the left side, you either have the brightness, which can be increased or decreased. Initially when I bought this, it was all the way bright, and at night it was just too much, so I turned it all the way down. Not really much of a difference, but I like it all the way down. And the other one is the angle. Also when I bought this, it was angled pretty far down, so I only could see cars closer to me. I decided to angle it up more towards the middle there. Looking at the left-hand side, there are power mirrors, and each side mirror has 2 mirrors, so there are a total of 4 controls here. As well as a button to fold in the mirrors. Up front there are two glove boxes, a lower glove box and then a smaller upper glove box. Another item I learned or found out about after purchasing, the bathroom door, if you open it straight out, actually rubs with this interior light. I think you're supposed to slightly fold the door and cut around the lights, but inevitably likely be some scratches there on that light. Moving into the toilet, it can swivel 90 degrees, so you can either put your legs to the side and close the door, or position it 90 degrees and have your legs out. In the back corner here, there's an indicator to let you know when your tank is full. I've heard don't let this turn red. You don't want to deal with a full tank emptying it. So I usually do it after every camping trip, just so we start the next trip with a full tank. The cassette toilet is easy to remove. It clips in with the blue clip at the bottom. So you first lift that and then can pull it out. It even has wheels and a handle on the bottom, but I bring this into the house and can easily drain it. The 59PX also has a large digital screen in the center of the dash. This has several features and screens that you can flip through. Starting here on the first, this is the digital speedometer. I like this because it has the speed limit. It was 45 miles per hour as I pulled into this parking lot. It also puts a little red triangle at the 45 mile per hour mark on the speedometer, so you know two places exactly what the speed is. Moving to the right, we have our trip odometer. This is trip A, which I use and reset every time I fill the gas tank. Some 240 miles on this tank, 77 miles left. This is city driving, so it's over 300. If I'm on the highway, I can get over 400 miles on a tank. My trip B is since the last oil change, so just 105 miles since the last oil change, but it'll show you the average speed as well as time traveled. After this is the vehicle information, tire PSI, which is actually a little bit off. I think after the last oil change, they did not set it correctly. It's supposed to be 65 PSI in the front and 80 PSI in the rear. This shocked me when I first picked up the Solis from the dealership, thinking it was off, but I checked the sticker and the door jamb, and this is correct. 65 in the front, 80 PSI in the rear. Here's my oil temperature, battery voltage, and tire pressure again. Moving to the right, Arizona is playing on my Apple CarPlay. The next screen is the navigation. This is the GPS that's built in with the RAM ProMaster. It does not sync up with the Apple CarPlay. Most of the time I'm using Apple CarPlay for my maps and navigation, so I don't use this, but if you do put in the address to the RAM GPS, then you can have directions here in the center dash. No stored messages. And then settings. Now going through the center screens, starting on the left, this is the home page. This is configurable using the top right corner of each of the box. You can change exactly what is being shown here. Interestingly, it has a weather app. You can click that, and it'll open up current weather. Moving to the right, we have media. This does connect into the Apple CarPlay, but also allows you to select AM, FM, Sirius, XM radio, Bluetooth connection, etc. Climate controls are the third screen here. You can also use the physical buttons down below or the digital buttons in the screen. The fourth option is the built-in GPS, followed by Apple CarPlay. This is the one that I use more frequently. And the last one is the vehicle, which has your trip information. You can pull this up and have it on the screen as you're driving. Controls then bring up the cameras. While driving at night, there is a screen off button just to the right. This was great to help darken the cabin, more focus on the road. I have it set to show the date and time right now. However, this can be set to just black if you want to completely black out the center screen. To turn on power to the rear of the coach, press the on button here on the far left. From here you have two switches. The one closer to the door turns on the exterior light, and the one closer to the inside turns on the interior lights. This just turns on the three lights down the middle. However, underneath there are additional lights with their own on-off switch. So there's one here just above the white seats. There's another above the sink. And then in the rear, there's one above each of the side cabinets. And if you're wondering how to turn on this light, it's actually there to service your gray water tank, your cassette toilet, your 30 amp shore power. This switch is located next to the water connection, right here. Moving up the ladder into the pop top. Initially I thought there was a light strip that went around. After purchasing, I realized this is just part of the seam and illuminates during the daytime. There is a switch over here just above the sliding door, and that'll turn on this rear light. I wish it was more in the tent area. It more illuminates the ladder and the area near. However, it does provide enough light up here. To close the pop top, make sure the canvas is all pulled inside, left, right, and the front as much as possible, as well as make sure these clips are stuck up on the ceiling. This allows you to tuck the excess behind. You then lower it down, twist to lock it in, and then always remember, latch the safety. Another interesting feature is with the key. There is one lock button that will lock all of the doors. However, there are two unlock buttons. The button in the top left just unlocks the driver and passenger door in the front, while the button in the left middle unlocks the sliding door and rear door. The 2023 RAM ProMaster 3500 comes with a 3.6 liter Pentastar motor. This produces 276 horsepower, 250 pound-feet of torque, and is front-wheel drive. At the RAM dealership, they told me there's almost nothing behind the driver's head with these that they service. Everything behind that is part of Winnebago. These are very simple and easy to work on vans. Now let's take it for a drive. One of the first things you'll notice is a squeaking in the back. I keep foam pads and a little foam tape just so I can run around and add it where it's needed to help prevent that squeaking. But like any RV, you're gonna have some squeaking. I'll give it some gas here. We are going uphill, but it'll still get up to speed with traffic. Since adding the SumoSprings to the rear, it definitely feels more of one unit now. When I first took this home, any bridge or bump, things that I went over on the highway, the rear end just slammed down. There's a lot of extra weight, and those small stock bump stops, definitely not enough. Turning, you just have to go a little bit wider here, not hit the curb, but it is nice being right over the front wheels. See, it's 30 miles per hour here, and there is a little red triangle at the 30 mile per hour mark. Overall, I really enjoy driving this, and it has been great to sleep in and road trips so far. I sold my daily driver, 2021 Toyota Tacoma, in order to purchase this, and this is now my daily driver. I take it to get groceries, take it around town, friends' houses, etc. But it's also great for sleeping at local restaurants, breweries, using Harvest hosts, or just rest stops right off the highway. Saves money on hotels and is easy in and out. I found the more that you drive this, the smaller it gets. It's definitely a large vehicle initially, and the driving dynamics is a little bit different. When you're sitting in the cockpit, you can't even see the hood. It's just a large windshield and the road right below. Let me know if you have any questions regarding the Winnebago Solis. I also looked at several Thor models. There's the Rise and the Scope. Winnebago makes a non-pop top called the Travado. Airstream makes the Range Lines, very beautiful but more expensive units. And there's also a Nuvo, N-O-O-V-O, Class B, also built on the RAM ProMaster. So several of these RV companies are rebuilding the RAM ProMaster into a livable camper van, Class B. But I found the Winnebago Solis 59PX to really be the best option.